Today on Public Eye News, a Detroit Village man is arrested for criminal sexual conduct. And later, elections are held across the nation, including a mayoral race in Detroit.
Tim Knapp will have your weather forecast for the next couple of days. Later, I will bring you today's sports breakdown. I'm Colin Morrison.
And I'm Emma Moratz. You're watching Public Eye News. The Michigan State Police, Sault Ste. Marie Post, have announced that 75-year-old Gerard Malkowski has been arrested and arraigned after multiple investigations surrounding alleged criminal sexual conduct involving children. An investigation following a hotline tip led the MSP to Malkowski, who had alleged relationships dating back to 2005. On October 31st, Malkowski was arraigned in 91st District Court, with 4 counts of criminal sexual conduct first degree and 1 count of felony possession of a firearm. Malkowski's next court appearance is on November 20th. If there is any information, please contact 906-632-2217. And Attorney General Dana Nessel has joined a coalition that has filed a lawsuit against the Department of Education because the department has changed their eligibility for Public Service Loan Forgiveness, or PSLF. Federal and non-profit employees that have been working for the government for 10 years were allowed to get their student loans forgiven. The Department of Education has made a new ruling stating that certain state and local governments are ineligible for PSLF. The coalition says that the new rule is unlawful and illegal. The rule is expected to take effect in July of 2026. Other attorney generals in the coalition include Arizona, Oregon, and Wisconsin.
2 20-year-old men and a minor have been arrested after planning an attack on an LGBTQ+ bar in suburban Detroit and have been charged with receiving and transferring guns and ammunition for terrorism. Mehmet Ali and Majed Mahmoud, as well as a minor whose identity have been hidden, were allegedly inspired by the Islamic State group's extremism, according to a criminal complaint shown in federal court. According to the court filing, FBI investigators had been tailing the group around Ferndale and Dearborn, as well as monitoring encrypted chats and social media posts before arresting the group on Friday. While the FBI searched the homes of the arrested people, they found 1,600 rounds of ammunition, AR-15 style rifles, loaded handguns, and GoPro cameras. The group will remain in custody and will have a detention hearing on November 10th. Consumers Energy will be selling their dams in Michigan to a private equity firm and will be paying a hefty price to do so. There are 13 hydropower dams owned by Consumers Energy, and they provide electricity to 1.9 million customers in Michigan. These dams have been very costly, however, and operate at a $152 million loss annually. Therefore, the energy company has been looking to offload these dams and finally found a suitor in Confluence Hydro LLC and are selling the negatively valued assets at $1 apiece, as well as signing an agreement to buy the dam's power from the private equity firm for 30 years at around twice the rate consumers pay for the energy. The reasoning given for the sale and purchase of the energy is that even that massive loss is less of a cost than it would take to decommission or maintain and repair the dams. Confluence Energy plans to maintain the dams and demolish them at the end of their useful lifespan. Americans are lining up at food banks, many after losing SNAP benefits on Saturday. 2 courts ordered those benefits to be restored, but the Trump administration says it will only pay half. Meanwhile, more flights are being canceled or delayed due to airport staffing issues. Air traffic controllers are being asked to work without pay. Chris Van Cleve is at Sky Harbor International Airport in Phoenix.
These marathon-long security lines could soon become a reality for travelers across the country.
I was at the line for like about 5 hours, but I still didn't get to the check-in.
At Houston's Bush Airport on Monday, passengers waited more than 3 hours in line. TSA staffing is so low because of sick calls due to the government shutdown. The airport could only staff checkpoints in 2 of its 5 terminals. Former New Hampshire Governor Chris Sununu runs the trade association representing the nation's airlines.
You're looking at an exponential problem, a real gridlock problem, if these folks don't get their act together in Washington.
How concerned are you today about the Thanksgiving holiday?
Extremely.
Nationally, the issue is air traffic control staffing. Sick calls have surged since controllers missed a paycheck last week, affecting at least 8 facilities on Monday and delaying flights at major airports, including Austin and in Dallas. Former NTSB Chair Robert Sumwalt.
We've got air traffic controllers and technicians that are not being paid, and certainly that's got to put an additional strain on an already stressful job.
Also under pressure, tens of millions of Americans who rely on the government for food assistance. After a court order, the Trump administration says it will tap into a contingency fund to cover 50% of SNAP benefits for November. Democrats slammed the reduced payments, saying Republicans are weaponizing hunger.
This is an intentional, vicious choice that Donald Trump and Republicans are making. And not a single American should go hungry.
But Republicans claim President Trump's hands are tied.
He wants SNAP to be done, but he doesn't see the mechanism to do it.
It's unclear when the Trump administration will resume the SNAP benefits. The administration says logistical challenges in some states could delay them by weeks, potentially months. At airports, the airlines say more than 3 million flyers have already experienced delays or cancellations because of air traffic control staffing related to the shutdown. Chris Van Cleve, CBS News, Phoenix.
Don't go anywhere. Colin will have your sports, and we'll have some statewide news after this short break.
Tune in to the heartbeat of the Upper Peninsula. At Public Radio 90, we're more than just a frequency on your dial. We're your trusted home for national public radio. Let our diverse blend of music be the soundtrack to your day. Public Radio 90, where community comes alive. Catch Kurt Hosworth Monday through Friday from 9:30 to noon with Class Eclectic and Saturday afternoons with The Shuffle.
I'm Kurt Hosworth, your host, and this is a program of soothing and adventurous classical music.
Hello again, this is Colin Morrison with your sports report for today, starting with NMU men's soccer, where sophomore Ian Weimer has earned himself GLIAC Offensive Player of the Week. Weimer has been consistently performing for the Wildcats, scoring goals in 3 consecutive matches, including 2 during this weekend alone. Weimer, a forward, started this weekend off with a bang, scoring a game winner over Roosevelt in a 2-1 victory, and had a goal against Purdue Northwest as well, contributing to the Wildcat 3-0 win. In no small part due to Weimer's efforts, NMU moved into 3rd place in the GLIAC and had 7 regular season wins, the best finish in NMU men's soccer history. This allows NMU to host a GLIAC quarterfinal postseason match, and the Wildcats will be facing off against Purdue Northwest again at home. This match will happen at 1 p.m. Sunday, November 9th at the NMU soccer field. Next up is a Detroit Lions recap, where the Lions are looking to recoup after their tough loss on Sunday. Detroit had a rough showing against Minnesota, allowing pressure on a large percentage of dropbacks, not being able to build up the run game and having a season-high number of penalties. Special teams also had some impactful errors, including a blocked kick that led in part to the team's 24-27 loss. The Lions also suffered a bad injury to the offensive line, with left guard Christian Mahogany suffering a broken ankle late in the game, which head coach Dan Campbell says will keep him out for a long time, likely until late December. This coming Sunday, Lions will face off against the Commanders, which has had some horrible injuries as well over the season, most notably standout quarterback Jaden Daniels, who suffered a horrific dislocation to his non-throwing elbow, which will keep him from playing for at least a month and possibly the remainder of the season. Our last story for today is Detroit hockey, which just took down the San Jose Sharks 3-2. The Detroit Red Wings had a fantastic performance against the Sharks, including a 53-foot goal from Moritz Seider. But the Sharks matched them throughout the game, with Sam Dickinson making a game-tying goal late in the game to send the match to a shootout. Both teams had alternating shots on goal, with both defenses able to stop the first 3 shots. But it was Detroit's James Van Riemsdyk who put the game away with a 9-foot game-winning goal. Next up for the Red Wings is a road match in Paradise, Nevada against the Vegas Golden Knights. Vegas is currently 6-2-3, which is 3rd in the Pacific Division, and Detroit is 9-4, 2nd in the Atlantic Division. This game will be a great one, so maybe take a nap later if you want to see it, because it starts at 10 p.m. tonight. That's all I have for sports. Now back to the news desk.
Thank you, Colin, for that sports update. I'm definitely going to take a nap before the Red Wings game. Now on to some statewide news. Drummer Chad Smith of the Red Hot Chili Peppers has created a needs-based music scholarship for the University of Michigan. The Curtis and Jones Smith Scholarship will be available to a graduating high schooler who is part of the music, theater, and dance department. The scholarship was also created at the University of Minnesota, where Smith's parents are alumni. The scholarship is geared toward a student that has displayed financial need and a passion for a future career in music. Detroit will have a new mayor after tonight's election. The mayor-elect will replace Mike Duggan, who is running for governor of Michigan. The candidates, Mary Sheffield and Pastor Solomon Kinlock, will face off in the first open-seat mayoral race in over 12 years. While the financial situation is different from when Duggan was first elected in 2013, there are still new issues for the mayor, including a shortage in affordable housing. Sheffield has endorsements from Duggan and 2 of her former opponents. This election takes place as some of the biggest cities in the nation face intervention from the National Guard, including Chicago, Memphis, and New Orleans. The polls close at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. There's heavy turnout as voters across the country are at the polls today to decide races ranging from their local mayoral races to governor seats to propositions which could change the balance of power in Washington, D.C. Natalie Brand has more details from Alexandria, Virginia.
Zoran Mamdani cast his ballot Tuesday morning, vying to run the nation's largest city as a self-described democratic socialist.
It is time now for a new day in our politics, and it is an honor and a privilege to be a part of a movement that has fought every single day to bring that day forward. And today, we have until 9 p.m. to say that our time has come.
Mamdani, the winner of New York City's Democratic primary, faces a challenge from former Governor Andrew Cuomo running as an independent and Republican Curtis Sliwa. On election eve, President Trump threw his support behind Cuomo.
President Trump is pragmatic. He is telling them the reality of the situation, which is if you do not vote, Mamdani is going to win.
In neighboring New Jersey, polling shows a competitive race between Democratic Congresswoman Mikey Sherrill, a former Navy officer, and Republican former state assemblyman Jack Ciattarelli. Both the New Jersey gubernatorial race and the one here in Virginia are viewed as political bellwethers heading into the midterms next year.
It could send a small message about the direction we're headed in.
Voters in the Commonwealth are choosing between former Democratic Congresswoman Abigail Spanberger and Republican Lieutenant Governor Winsome Earl Sears.
Abigail is for nonsense, but I am for common sense.
In Virginia, we need a governor who will stand up against the chaos.
Northern Virginia voters we spoke with said President Trump's policies and government layoffs are weighing on their minds.
In this area, I think that there's a lot of people who are experiencing personal impacts.
Today in California, voters are deciding on a proposition that would allow congressional maps to be redrawn in that state. Natalie Brand, CBS News, Alexandria, Virginia.
We'll be right back with your weather report after this short break. Stay tuned.
Support for the alternative for Germany is higher than ever before.
Correspondent Evan Williams investigates the surging popularity of Germany's new right.
Now we are the party of the future.
The influence of Russia.
The Russians have conducted disinformation and warfare.
And the United States.
The far right and the Eurosceptics in Europe feel that they've now got their man in the White House.
Donald Trump.
They're no longer excluded, but actually they're part of the political process now.
Premieres Tuesday, November 4th, 10, 9 Central, only on PBS.
Welcome back to Public Eye News. I'm Tim Knapp, here with your weather report. Taking a look at the roof cam, we got a little bit of activity, but not too much going on, but still a good day to get outside. Let's take a look at your statewide weather. Over in Houghton, it's 52 degrees and sunny. In Ironwood, it's 51 degrees and sunny. Down in Iron Mountain, it's 50 degrees and partly sunny. And down in Menominee, it's 52 degrees and cloudy. Moving across the map, however, in Escanaba, it's 52 degrees and sunny. In Manistee, it's 54 degrees and sunny. Over here in Sault Ste. Marie, it's 50 degrees and sunny. And back home in Marquette, it's 50 degrees and sunny. Current conditions right now, winds out of the southwest at 10 miles an hour, and barometric pressure is 30.07 inches and rising. Tonight, we are looking at some rain with a low of 40 degrees, winds out of the south at 5 miles an hour, but our moon phase is a waxing gibbous, and who doesn't love that? Tomorrow, we're looking at some rain with a high of 48 and a low of 38, winds out of the northwest at 15 miles an hour. It's going to be a bad night, but looking ahead, we have some windy conditions on Thursday, high of 46, low of 36. Friday, high of 47, low of 32 and rainy. And Saturday, high of 37, low of 30 and snowy. Can you believe it? Back to the desk.
Thank you, Tim, for that weather update. November is really settling in. That's all the time we have here at Public Eye News. I'm Emma Moratz.
I'm Colin Morrison.
We'll see you tomorrow.
The preceding program was produced by WNMU-TV, Northern Michigan University Public Television, in studios located in Elizabeth and Edgar Hardin Hall.